Hi friends, I have hit the record button. Today we're going to talk about debt recycling. Now this topic came because a few of my friends and myself were including some of the other relatives as well. We were talking about this whole debt recycling and how can we make most out of our debt. So I thought why not put together a small video with an example and hopefully it can be helpful for anyone in the community. Please be advised that I'm actually not a financial advisor. I'm just putting out this example so that if you want to use this strategy, you can use it for your investments. Now, let's explain this debt strategy. This debt strategy, which includes debt recycling. I've got a friend Joe. He's got a house. Now his house value is 500K, and he's got an existing mortgage which is of 300K. Uh, the maximum possible mortgage that he can get on the house, which is 80%, is about 400K. That means Joe's equity in the house is 100K. Let's also for a moment assume that Joe has a borrowing capacity of 400K as well, so that he can borrow the entire 400K which is available on the house. So what will Joe do? uh, Zoe is actually going to call his bank. He's going to give a ring to his banker, and he's going to ask his bank to split his mortgage into two different loans. Mortgage one will be 300K and mortgage two would be 100K. This is very, very critical. The loans have to be physically separated. They cannot be in one facility. The reason being, this 100K is actually going to be used for investments, and that means that any expenses done on this 100K would be tax deductible. Reason is pretty simple. We are using this loan to earn income, and that means any expenses done towards this loan can be used as tax deductible. Now, Joe, given that he has got a good credit history, he's got these two split loans from the bank, 300K. He's serving mortgage, 100K. He's now going to invest that money. So what he's going to do with that money? He's got that 100K from the bank. He is going to put all of this 100K into listed investment companies or ETFs. If you want to know more about listed investment companies or ETFs, let me know in the link below and I'll try and answer all your questions. And he's not going to invest in one listed investment company or one ETF. He's going to spread this over at least 3 or 4 different listed investment companies or ETFs. Why I'm stressing on listed investment companies and ETFs? Because these investment companies have an extraordinary long track record. Now I'm emphasizing they have a some of them have track record of 50-60 years of providing a dividend yield of 5.9 to 6.6% every year. So you put in 100 rupees in this in listed companies and you get $6 back every year. And they have been doing it for 40, 50, 60 years, some of them. This is not what I'm telling you. You can go to the ASX investor education link that I've got below and can read all about them. So what happens when you invest this loan that you have taken from bank for 100K? Now Joe ends up getting 9,750 in his bank at the end of the 5 years. Now let me run through some of these numbers a little slowly for you. He's got a home loan and he's got two split loans. Remember, we talked about a loan of 300K, another one loan of 100K. Let's imagine the investment loan was a bit more pricier. So he's got at 3.5%. So he's paying $3,500 every year on that loan. Because he's put that money into an listed investment company or an ETF, he's able to receive approximately, I've gone conservatively, 4.5% every year as dividend. Now, many of these investment companies provide fully franked dividend, which means that for 4,500 that they're giving you, they're going to deposit 1,350 every year with ATU, and you would be getting them as franking credit when you're doing your tax returns. So let's summarize. So you've paid $3,500 interest. You've got a dividend in hand for $4,500, which means you're making 1,000 every year with this strategy. To top it, your tax on this is only 400. However, you've got a franking credit of 1,350 already on that dividend, which means you'll get a tax refund of 950 bucks, leading to a net cash flow every year of 1,950, equating to 9,750 every year. Isn't that great? Now, does that mean that anyone can do it? Is it a free lunch? Everyone can eat that? Absolutely no. If the interest rate is higher than the dividend yield, in our example, we use the dividend yield of 4.5%. If you're borrowing more than 4.5%, you'll make losses. If your end value of shares is less than the investment loan amount, remember our investment loan amount was 100K. If your end value of the shares or ETFs, LICs is less than 100K, you will make capital losses. Dividend franking today, if the company pays on your behalf, you can claim refunds, but things can change in future. So that will have a very negative impact on your cash flows. So before you want to deploy this strategy, think whether this strategy is right for you. All I wanted to do today was to give you a bit of understanding on how you can use debt positively to build positive cash flows and make more money. Thanks for watching. This is on YouTube. We've got a channel. If you have any questions, hit down in the comment. I read every single comment which is made on my channel. Thanks for watching. I'm going to figure out where is the record button and just close the recording of this one. Thank you.